Hello, I'm Ita Buttrose. Sadly, I'm not able to be with you all at the VIEW National Convention in Adelaide today, after a number of postponements due to COVID. But it's great to be able to finally commemorate VIEW Club's long-awaited 60th anniversary celebrations. I've been a friend of VIEW and the Smith family for many years, including being a Smith family director in the late 1990s and early 2000s. I've had the pleasure of attending 3 VIEW national conventions and fondly remember celebrating the 50th anniversary in Canberra. VIEW can be extremely proud of what has been achieved in its 62 years of connecting with the community, enabling the Smith family to reach even more families and students experiencing disadvantage. In 1960, when the role of Australian women was often limited to the home environment and exclusion from service clubs was the norm, the Smith family founded an important service for women, VIEW Clubs, the voice, interests and education of women. From its inception, VIEW has played a pivotal role in strengthening the voice of Australian women, providing a critical support network during an era of dramatic change. 62 years on, VIEW continues to evolve, capably meeting the needs of women and the Smith family, Australia-wide. Membership is currently over 14,000 women, connected by a shared purpose of raising funds, volunteering and advocating to help the Smith family's work, supporting the education of Australian children in need so that they can create better futures for themselves. Today, VIEW provides a network for all women to support one another, form lasting friendships, acquire new skills, and create connections in their communities. Give yourselves a pat on the back. My sincere congratulations on achieving this important milestone. This is VIEW Club's story. Enjoy.
In March 1960, VIEW Clubs was born, bringing together like-minded women to exchange ideas, volunteer and help others. It was the start of 60 years of strength and support for the Smith family and disadvantaged children. Come on our journey. It's the 60s, a time of civil rights, women's liberation, hippies, miniskirts and Beatlemania.
It's one small step for man.
In Australia, immigrants are arriving. Indigenous Australians are speaking up. There are new ideas about racial equality and women's roles. The Smith family's then welfare services are in high demand. In March 1960, George Forbes forms VIEW Clubs. His aim is to bring women out of their homes to exchange ideas, share interests and, above all else, help others in need through funds and support for the Smith family. The idea grows quickly. By November 1960, there are 23 VIEW Clubs in Sydney and 1,000 members. By the end of the 60s, there are 134 clubs across New South Wales, with thousands of women supporting the Smith family. It's the 70s. Women's rights, gay rights, environmental rights, Watergate, the ongoing Vietnam War, disco and fondue parties. Change is gripping Australia. The Smith family is changing too, expanding from New South Wales into the Australian Capital Territory, teaching English to immigrants and modernising with more processors, staff and volunteers. The unemployed are the main recipients of the organisation's welfare, with growing awareness of the cycle of poverty. By now, VIEW is one of the Smith family's great success stories and a committed ally. Women are finding friendship and fulfilment outside their home life, while providing substantial financial and voluntary support to the Smith family. With its first club in Canberra, VIEW becomes VIEW Clubs of Australia. Members volunteer and support creative fundraising events to raise awareness and funds for the Smith family's work. By the end of 1979, there are 210 VIEW Clubs and 15,000 members. VIEW's cash gifts amount to over a quarter of all donations received by the Smith family. The 80s are a time of economic excess. The boom followed by the bust. It's all about big hair, shoulder pads and pastels, the AIDS epidemic, and the start of the end of the Cold War. In Australia, by the end of the decade, unemployment and inflation skyrocket. The government allocates more and more funding to welfare support. The Smith family moves away from providing emergency assistance. Its focus becomes helping disadvantaged families support their children's education. Educate is born, providing scholarships, advice and support to 60 students across Sydney. In 1983, View expands to Victoria, and by 1986 is moving into Queensland. With fun and friendship remaining a strong focus, it's a big decade for View fundraising. As well as knitting and baking, innovative events like the Jumbly sale at Sydney Town Hall and View Gown of the Year see hundreds of thousands of dollars raised for the Smith family. By 1989, View has more than 23,000 members dedicated to volunteering and fundraising in support of the Smith family's work with disadvantaged children and families. As we march towards a new millennium, Generation X comes of age, and Nelson Mandela is released from prison. With Australia in the grip of recession, Kieran Perkins lifts the nation's spirits, winning gold at the 1992 Olympics. Supporting children's education is now the core focus of the Smith family. Educate is rebranded as the Learning for Life program and attracts growing government, academic and corporate attention. View enjoys its biggest decade of growth, with 150 new clubs formed and membership reaching a whopping 32,000 across 428 clubs. Members throw their support and fundraising efforts behind the Smith family and Learning for Life, donating $1 million annually to the Smith family. National growth continues, with View expanding into South Australia. Interest groups for members thrive and closer bonds with the Smith family's local offices are forged. By 1999, just 30 years since foundation, View has donated tens of millions of dollars, volunteered countless hours and raised awareness of the Smith family in communities across Australia. It's a new century. The Y2K bug fails to end the world as we know it, and the digital revolution sweeps the globe. It's a time of great disruption, with the September 11 terror attacks and the global financial crisis. For Australians, it is a decade of highs and lows, beginning with Cathy Freeman winning gold at the Sydney 2000 Olympics and ending with bushfires raging through Victoria on Black Saturday. The Smith family's focus moves from welfare to long-term educational support. Rising corporate and government interest sees the organisation commit to an evidence-based research approach to helping disadvantaged young people lift themselves out of poverty. The Learning for Life program continues to expand, complemented by other learning and support programs. View clubs begin sponsoring Learning for Life students with great gusto, while national expansion continues with clubs established in Western Australia and the Northern Territory. The Smith family encourages members to become more involved through volunteering in offices and programs such as learning clubs. Looking to the future, View explores ways to attract more members interested in joining with like-minded women to have a collective voice, give back and support the Smith family. At the end of the noughties, View is supporting 628 Learning for Life students. The organisation and its members are a vital and valued part of the Smith family. The 2010s are a time of rapid technological change, with Amazon, Facebook, Uber and Airbnb changing the way we live, work, shop and play. It's a breakthrough decade for Australian women. Quinton Bryce is the first female Governor-General of Australia, Julia Gillard becomes our first female Prime Minister, and Mary MacKillop our first saint. At the Smith family, the Learning for Life program is now reaching tens of thousands of disadvantaged students. Life-changing learning and support programs are rolling out. In this decade, View celebrates 50 years with a fresh new look and logo as the first Tasmanian club opens. More than 1,400 students are sponsored by View by the end of this period, and some 15,000 women continue to build friendships and share knowledge at monthly meetings, literary and fashion events, lunches and dinners, all while supporting the Smith family. With 60 years of history, View's contributions to the Smith family are now over $40 million. The benefits to View members and disadvantaged young Australians are much, much more. As we march into a new decade, View remains as vibrant and relevant as ever. Today's leaders are embracing change just as their predecessors did, adapting and transforming View to continue to meet the changing needs of society while never losing sight of the unique View pillars of connectedness, empowerment of women, and supporting the Smith family and disadvantaged families. Looking into our future, we know View will evolve. Clubs are embracing the digital age with websites, Facebook and Instagram. Members, through their national reach, are influencers to government and communities. Clubs are exploring ways to attract more members, increase View's collective voice, and continue to raise funds to support the next generation of young Australians. With 60 years of success behind us, the View spirit is thriving. It is this spirit that motivates women from all walks of life to come together, connected by a willingness to learn more, share more, and become more, while always helping disadvantaged children get the most from their education through the Smith family. View would not be the success it is today without the passion, generosity, and enthusiasm of its wonderful members. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you for the contributions you've made. Each and every one of you has made a powerful difference in the lives of Australian children in need. Happy 60th anniversary, View. Here's to another 60 years of strength and support.